Hey guys, this video too, this is the video about the PlayStation that is looping. It doesn't want to take an update. It'll get to a certain percentage and then just stop and give an error message. So I've removed the motherboard from the PlayStation, and if you look here, this is the chip, and what you see next to it is flux gel. Okay, I'm not going to use blobs of solder on the chip unless I have to. There's a few capacitors very close to it, and I don't want the solder to hit them because it will liquefy them in like about a second and knock them off, and they are not easy to get back on. Okay, so I'm going to use liquid flux only for now. We'll see if we can get it off. This is the tip I'm going to use. Hopefully you could see it. You notice how it's slanted. So we're gonna tilt this. We're gonna tilt this a little this way, a little that way to avoid the capacitors. Okay, so let's try to get this out. I'm going to use a small screwdriver with very light pressure on the side of the chip. Do not pry it off. This will take a long time to get it off. If you take a short time to get it off, then you're going to rip off the pads on the motherboard. Okay, so please be very careful. The pads are very thin, very close together. It would be very hard to make a new trace on the board. I mean, I can do it, but I mean, not everyone can, so please be careful. Okay, so we're gonna slant our solder gun, our solder tip, this way first, but you'll know when you do it. Just avoid the capacitors. Okay, so we're gonna go back and forth. Sometimes it might stick. If it sticks, then just slant it a certain way to get it to not stick. Okay, now we'll do the other side. I heard a little bit of ticking, so we'll go to the other side now. I'm going to make sure that I avoid hitting the capacitors. Slant the solder tip any way you feel comfortable, like that it's not sticking. Okay, and if it's not coming up for some reason, you can turn up your solder gun to a little bit more heat. When you put the other chip on, you want to use as little heat as possible because you don't want to burn it up. Okay, so I'm going to go back to this side here. Apply light pressure to the solder gun tip because you don't want to damage anything. Okay, so it's starting to come up now. I could hear it ticking. Remember, get the solder gun in a position where it's not going to hit the capacitors. and that it slides back and forth. Remember, light pressure. Okay, now if you think it's stuck somewhere, just make sure you heat it up. Do not pull it off. Okay. Put it on the side here. Don't put it exactly on the top flap, because if you did use flux gel, it will stick to the top of that chip. I've done that one time and it was hard to get off. I had to take the heat gun and heat it up. So you know, we'll clean up our pads. If you don't have good eyes, use some kind of lens. I have these glasses that has one lens on it, and it's really good. I mean, I'm not using it now, so I don't need it now, but when I examine the legs on the chip, I want to make sure that none of them are bridging. So all the pads are on there. They're in very good condition. None of them are lifted, as I can see, but I am going to put on these glasses here. I don't know if you could see these. And it's a little bit too close up, but anyway, it's just it's a lens, and I think it's maybe about times 15, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm going to inspect it right now. Okay, so the pads are perfect. Like I said, they're not lifted. Okay, I'm going to stop this video and I'm going to clean up the board, and then I'll get back to you in the third video. Okay, bye.